Hey guys, Cronus Falls here, and today I'm doing something a little exciting for me anyways, which is I'm going to be building my clan boss team on this alt account, Cronus NG. I've showed it off before, but it's been quite a while, so let's just go ahead and take a look over everything. First of all, if you'll see here, I've been saving up quite a bit of silver, so I'm at about 71 million right now. That's really going to help me just do everything that I need to as far as gear upgrades go. I've also been farming a lot of dragon and spiders throughout the last month or so. So I have quite a bit of stuff to go through here. Let's take a look at the champs though. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Now I can't filter by new. Oh well. So this account does have a Valkyrie and a Martyr. Those are the only two legendaries it has besides Warlim, I think. Yeah. So obviously he came from the battle pass, but this account is very lucky in that out of the two legendaries it could pull, it was these two. So very excited about that. But basically what I've been running, if we come over here, is if we look in Nightmare, Cronus NG, we have Martyr, Frozen Banshee, Apothecary, Stag Knight, and Valk. So obviously that doesn't seem like an optimal team, especially because of these two right here. Apothecary is not going to allow us to properly speed tune. Stag Knight's not the best on a counterattack team. He does do pretty well on a speed team, but I did not have a decrease attack champion, so he had to come in there to make up for when Martyr couldn't keep it up on her A3. So between the two of them, they did a pretty good job there. So basically, the ideas that I came up with, I pulled Padma the other day, which was actually a lifesaver because things were going to be a little more complicated without her. So the idea was Martyr can keep up the decreased attack on a 4-turn cooldown, which obviously isn't good enough for a counterattack setup. So I was going to bring in Grizzled Yarol here. And with his A3 here, he can put up decreased attack. So between the two of them, I was hoping I could tune it to where, you know, they could keep it up with pretty good precision. And then Sandlash Survivors. The idea, Martyr would come in here at 171 speed, be my counter attacker for Nightmare. And then Grizzled Yarol would come in here, get his, block debuffs off. And then Sandlash Survivor would come in, extend that so Martyr could take her turn, and then when the clan boss went for the stun, he would hit into the block debuffs that had been increased on the Martyr, and voila, everything's good, don't have to worry about that anymore. And that is still the plan, but now I don't have to worry about the decreased attack coming from him anymore. I don't think he does it unless it's down, like decreased attack is down. So that's good because then I'm pretty sure he will consistently keep this on his 3-turn cooldown, which is exactly what I want. And then our Padma here, she is going to obviously be doing our decreased attack. So basically for Nightmare, I'm thinking these 4 champions as well as Bulwark here coming in. So Bulwark would come in to extend our debuffs, so he would extend our decreased defense, our poison sensitivity, and actually no, sorry, not these. Bulwark is not going to be coming in anymore because of the Padma edition. Instead, Frozen Banshee, of course. Bulwark was part of the original plan, and I'm still considering him, but we'll see how it goes. Another option would be instead of Sandlash Survivor coming in, Bulwark could come in as the lead, take the stun, and then Grizzled Yarol would actually be faster, or slower than Bulwark rather, so he'd be getting it up, he'd be blocking the stun. Bulwark would be taking most of the hits and therefore getting the extensions. I have a couple different things to play with. It'll be easier to show in action than to actually try to explain. Cult Brawler is also a good option. Basically, it's going to be one of these two, just depending on what the clan boss affinity is. I think most of the time it'll be Banshee, but if we are against a force affinity, I would switch over to a Cult Brawler. So let's look at the builds, though, as far as what they have right now. So currently, none of them are in lifesteal, except Frozen Banshee. So our Martyr here, she is in 2 sets accuracy, 1 set speed. She does have an accuracy banner, which is pretty good. It's not rolled up. but she's already at 230, so I didn't bother. That's definitely going to come into play as we're gearing her, though, in some lifesteal. Valkyrie is also not in lifesteal, and she currently has an HP percent chest. Obviously, we're going to want to switch that out for us so that we can get her into as much defense as possible. And then our Padma, our Grizzled Yarol, and our Sandlash Survivor, as well as our Bulwark, are not geared at all. I guess Bulwark does have a tiny bit of gear. That's just old stuff. Not relevant to this, so that'll all be going away. And then our Frozen Banshee here is actually pretty well geared. It's just not rolled up fully. So she's at about 26k HP, 3300 defense, 173 speed, so she is properly tuned there. And then 226 accuracy. So once these are all rolled up, that's going to be a lot more defense for her. All three of these are defense as well. She does have an accuracy banner, but she has defense ring and defense amulet. So I'm thinking we're going to be getting her somewhere into the 3,800 range, especially with the 6-star shield rolled up. Look at the defense on that beauty. So she is going to be looking really solid there. And that's one less champion we have to worry about gearing. So we can just roll those up and look good. So I do want to show you guys something though, which is building the Masteries for these guys. So I actually do not have the Masteries yet. I need to go ahead and buy them. I just did not feel like grinding it for 4 champions. So even though it's a little bit less efficient, I'm just going to go ahead and buy these straight out. That way we can get it going for the video. When you're running 2 accounts, it can be a little difficult to find the time to get everything done that you want to on both of them. So this little shortcut is going to be nice for me, and I'll just eat the 600 gems or whatever the difference would be between running it and actually buying them. So let's go ahead and see here. Who do we want to mastery first? Let's start with Padma. So Padma, basically we need to come down to War Master, obviously, first and foremost. So we are going to make our way down here, and then we are going to go ahead and go into the support tree. We want to make sure she is landing that decreased attack all the time, so we want as much accuracy as possible. We don't need to come into defense for counterattack or anything, because obviously we've got counterattack champions. So let's just go ahead, we're going to grab pinpoint accuracy here, come into some more accuracy. We do not want any sort of turn meter manipulation, so we don't mess with that. We come into Swarm Smiter. Then we are going to go ahead and take Lore of Steel, Evil Eye, Master Hexer, and that is going to be it. She doesn't need Sniper because her A1 is a 100% chance when booked to decrease attack, so we are looking really solid there. Then we just need to kind of fill up the Masteries along here. So Heart of Glory is going to make us do more damage, Life Drinker a little bit more lifesteal, and finally Kill Streak just for other content. So we are looking pretty good on her Masteries there. I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and go on to our Grizzled Yarol here. So Grizzled Yarol, he is going to be doing buffs for us. We're not so worried about the debuff. So first of all, obviously come down to War Master. That's always where you want to start when you're doing your clan boss champions, unless they are not a War Master champion, then obviously you're making your way down to Giant Slayer. But next, what do we want? Let's see. We do want to extend, or the possibility to extend the debuffs would be nice. We do not want Arcane Celerity here. I don't want to mess up the turn order at all. Let's see, what can we do? He doesn't do any healing. So maybe what we do is come down accuracy, 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 Lore of Steel, Evil Eye, and then Spirit Haste and Lasting Gifts is kind of what I'm feeling going through here. He doesn't do any sort of heals or anything like that, so I think that's what we're going to do. Just come down here, make sure not to get any of that nasty turn meter manipulation, and come right through to there, and then we're going to pick up our Life Drinker and our Heart of Glory. So that's what I'm going to do for Grizzled Yarol. And then our Sandlashed here. So Sandlashed is going to be putting up buffs, she is going to be extending buffs, so we're not too worried about her provoke. We do want, on the passive though, she puts up a 50% ally protection on allies for 2 turns when any ally's HP drops below 50%, and places a block damage buff on herself for 1 turn. I don't think you can extend block damage, so potentially we will just... That's an interesting question, actually. Do I want to extend ally protection? Because that could potentially be dangerous, get our Sandlash killed once she no longer has the unkillable. So I'm really not sure there. We may not want to go into this. We're definitely coming into War Masters, so let's just go ahead and get that out right away. And now I am considering between the support tree and the defense tree, kind of leaning towards defense here actually. Lore of Steel and Evil Eye are pretty tempting down there. We are going into Lifesteal, so we're not going to be getting too much out of Evil Eye here. The question is, how much do we get out of the defense tree? So that's not going to... Well, actually, that may be good if we're going to be bringing her in with Valkyrie. So Rejuvenation may be a way to go. We can also get Blast Proof to take less damage from AoEs, which would be kind of nice. And we'd be coming down. That wouldn't really help us so much. That would be alright. And we could come down and get Deterrence, so we could counterattack when... Actually, we're not going to have a stun going off, hopefully, because of Grizzled Yarol. So... let's see. I mean, defense might be the way to go here, because I'm not too worried about extending. Not too worried about Lore of Steel. I think I'm going to try defense, and then down the line, if it's not working out, I'll go ahead and give it a change. We're not looking for Shadow Heal or Solidarity or anything like that, are we? No, I don't think any of this is going to be helpful for us. So yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to grab Blast Proof here. We're going to grab Rejuvenation, since we're going to be bringing her in with Valkyrie potentially, and then we're going to grab Resurgent. We are... okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and take Delay Death, and then we are going to come over here and grab Retribution, and we are going to take Deterrence. And then right here we can grab Life Drinker, and let's see, do we want Wrath of the Slain? We could have this Leech for other content, potentially, but it's just an A1 where she places it. The Provoke, I mean. I think... oh, maybe we want Cycle of Violence. So this isn't going to affect us in Clan Boss, because obviously we're never going to deal more than 30% of the target's max HP. But it may be worthwhile grabbing for other content, so I think that's what we're going to do. So that's going to be it for our Sandlash there. And then finally, Bulwark. Let's take a look, and we are coming down. We are grabbing our War Master. And then we are going to go into the accuracy tree because he does place an HP burn and a weaken. We are going to grab all this good stuff right here. And then some Heart of Glory and some Life Drinker. So now we got good chances on our debuffs. We got Lore of Steel, we got Evil Eye, we got Swarm Smiter. So all those masteries are looking good. Let's take a look at our other champions masteries. So our Frozen Banshee here, straight line to War Master, pretty much what you've seen before. I did not grind out the last of her masteries because Sniper, none of these really help her. So that's it for her. Our Martyr, she is coming down through Cycle of Magic into Lasting Gifts. Now see, I'm not sure if Cycle of Magic will mess up the counterattack, because I've seen recommended Cycle of Magic on champions like Valkyrie and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Chosen runs his with Cycle of Magic, and so I'm inclined to believe that they'll still go through a proper rotation even with Cycle of Magic. But if I do find that it's messing it up, I'll have to change it down the line, so we will see. I am coming into Lasting Gifts though, and that's the reason to take it. If I were not, I'd probably have to give up Master Hexer for it, which I'm not sure, may be worth it. Probably would be actually. So we will see how that goes. And then our Valkyrie, it's a similar setup, except we are just coming down here, getting bigger shields off of Shield Bearer. Healing Savior, increased amount of healing, value of shield buffs, placed by the champion by 10% if target has 40% HP or less, so we're getting more shields. Cycle of Magic is getting us over here to Lore of Steel, and then we're grabbing Lasting Gifts as well. So that is what we are doing for the Masteries there. Now, the fun part, let's go ahead and get gearing. So obviously that's going to take quite a while. I've already done my artifact cleanse, so I'm looking at about 600 artifacts here. I just had those new ones that I should have looked through, so I may have a couple more things to get rid of, we'll see. But I will go ahead and cut back in once we are done with the gearing process. Alrighty, so the re-gearing is done here. Let's go ahead and have a look. So first of all, my Valkyrie here, I have her at 192 speed, which I will explain later. But at 6k defense, 34k HP almost, and 62% crit rate, 90% crit damage, so a pretty strong build for her here. Those shields are definitely going to be big with that 6k defense. Martyr here, we have her running at about 32k HP, 4500 defense, 172 speed, again I'll explain the 2 there in a second, and 102% crit rate, so we're going to crit 100% of the time. 106 crit damage and 209 accuracy, so she is looking pretty solid there. Our Padma here, ooh, I actually need to lift her up a bit. She's only at 187 accuracy, so I'll work on that in a second. But total stats here, we have her at about 35k HP, 4000 defense, 173 speed, 89% crit rate, 121% crit damage. And I'm going to go ahead and glyph her, see if I can get her over that 200 accuracy range, because that is just a little low for where we want her to be. She is an Ack Banner, right? Yes, she is. Alright, so she is in the kind of range we want her to be. Grizzled Yarol here is at about 36k HP, 4169 defense, 191 speed, 60% crit rate, 127% crit damage, and 177 accuracy. Now, the accuracy got that high even though I didn't really want it to. As you can see, I have him in a defense banner. I don't particularly want him landing his debuffs, but just the gear I had to work with, I ended up having to use an axe set, and that's just kind of how it worked out. Then we have Sandlash Survivor here, so she is at about 30k HP, about 4k defense, 175 speed, 106% crit rate, so she's going to crit 100% of the time. 98% critical damage, and not worrying about the accuracy. And then Bulwark here, it's at about 23.5k HP, which is actually really low, but about 3900 defense, 175 speed, and 276 accuracy, so 57% crit rate, 112% crit damage. She's going to get some decent damage out of that. And so, like I said, the reason that I have these at 192 and 172 speed, respectively, is, first of all, they're still the slowest. Well, Valkyrie's the fastest, but it's going to be a slow speed tune on Ultra Nightmare. And Martyr is the slowest, so she should still work fine on Nightmare. But I actually did some runs last night after I finished this. This is the next day now, and it wasn't quite working properly. And the reason was the clan boss was stunning Valkyrie. Even though she was not my lead, she has, I think, the second highest HP, the highest defense, and she wasn't the lead, but for some reason he was specifically targeting her. They all had the same buffs up, so I really don't know how to explain it. But what I decided to do was try out some theory crafting here. So you guys are going to see the first run this way to see how it works. So Grizzled Yarol, like I said, is at 191 speed. And so my idea here is Valkyrie is going to come in turn 1, get the counterattack off. Then Grizzled Yarol will come in, do his attack. It doesn't really matter what I do with him. And then the clan boss will go. This is on Ultra Nightmare. And then on turn 2, what's going to happen is Martyr will come in and use her counterattack. Grizzled Yarol should then get his counterattack refresh there because he'll have lost 1 turn off of Valkyrie's. So he will go lose another turn off of the counter attack. And then on the next and final turn before the stun, we should be able to get his block debuffs off right after Valkyrie goes. And I think he'll be last in the rotation. So like I said, this is theory crafting. I'm not sure it's going to work here. But if I can get that on a proper rotation, I should be able to constantly block the stun, which should mean that my rotation won't mess up. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out. I'm really hoping here. With the original setup, before I went ahead and changed their speeds, I was doing about 17 million on a key on Ultra Nightmare, which is a little low, just right under that 4 key mark. So I want to at least get to 4 key range with this. So I think this should potentially help. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and glyph Padma up to get her accuracy where we need to be. Definitely need to get her into the over 200 range, and then we will see how it works. Alright, so we've got Padma to 201 accuracy now, which I think will be enough since her A1 has a 100% chance. So that should be all good. That is if she crits, which she is at a 89% chance to crit. So I think we are looking pretty good there. If I could get her into 6-star crit gloves along the way, that would be sweet. But right now I think we are looking pretty good. I did go ahead and change up some masteries as well. So what I noticed on my Martyr was that when I ran her on Nightmare when paired with Sandlash Survivor, what would happen is her lasting gifts would proc and extend her counter attack, and then to a 4-turn, and then Sandlash would come in and extend it to a 3-turn, and then Sandlash would come in and extend it to a 4-turn. So when Martyr came back around, she would still have it up, not cast it at the right time, and it really messed up the rotation. So we've gone ahead and changed that up. So let's go ahead and come in here now to the Ultra Nightmare clan boss. Grab some chests real quick from yesterday. No thank you. And anything here that's good? No. Did get a shard though. That's cool. And no. Okay, so no good gear there, but let's go ahead and go into Ultra Nightmare here, and I am going to have to set it up. Let me make sure. So we don't want Sandlashed in here anymore. I'm going to go ahead and put Martyr into the lead spot, and then we are going to grab Grizzled Yarol and put him here. So let's go ahead and just see how this runs. Need to make sure to take it off of auto at the start. So come in, do this. I can go ahead and put up the decrease attack on him if it lands. It does not. Alright, so we come in, get our decreased defense going, our decreased attack. I forgot, I also think I'm going to have to switch out Frozen Banshee for a Cult Brawler on this because she doesn't get the proper rotation on her poison sensitivity here. So I might do that later in the video, we will see. But if not, I'm going to do it off camera. So let's go ahead and get the poison sensitivity up here. Let's just go for the A1, I suppose, here. See if we can extend that decreased attack. Now we are going to go for the counter attack. Valkyrie is going to come in for her A1. We're going to go A1 here, and then he's going to do his secondary hit. Perfect. Alright, so this is where the stun should be coming in on this next turn, so we need to use the block debuffs from our Grizzled Yarol here. So we don't need the A1, let's just go A3. And then we can just go A1 here, try to extend that decreased defense. We do. A1, and then block debuffs. And now I'm going to throw it on auto, and that should go ahead and block the stun for us the whole time. Now what is going to happen is Grizzled Yarol is going to take those stuns because he's the only one without the shield. Which is a little bit unfortunate because obviously he doesn't have the shield to protect him. But the stun does the least damage out of all the hits, so it shouldn't be too bad for him. So I am just going to let this run through one more time before I throw it on auto and make sure that he puts it up at the correct time. If he does, we will be looking really good. So we should be seeing the stun right now. Go ahead and throw up that block debuffs for us. He does. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and let this run through and we will just see what kind of damage we do. Alright, so I think we're coming up pretty close to the end here, and as you can see, it is working very well. We are about to hit 19 million damage, which is well into the 4-key territory. There goes our Grizzled Yarol, so this is probably going to be the end. But that's looking good. I'm actually surprised how bad Frozen Banshee is doing at keeping the poisons up for us in this kind of setup. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is switch her out with a Cult Brawler for the next run and see if we can't get a higher damage amount. We are going to hit about 22 million damage here, 21.6, which is nice. 3-key would be, oh, that'd be about 23.5 million or so. So we're pretty close to that. I'm going to go ahead and back out here. And I will re-gear my Cult Brawler instead of Frozen Banshee, and we'll just see how it runs. Alright, so we have a Cult Brawler built now. I don't quite have enough silver to get this necklace rolled up, but he is looking pretty good here. So we've got him at about 35k HP, 3500 defense. That'll be hitting probably about 3600 once I can get that necklace rolled up. 173 speed, so he's properly tuned. 215 accuracy, so he should be landing those pretty well. So let's go ahead. I would like to get his accuracy up a tiny bit, but based on the gear I have right now, I think that's the best I can do. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I should show his Masteries as well, since I didn't earlier. He's coming straight line down to War Master, and then coming over here and grabbing accuracy, Laura Steel, Evil Eye, Sniper, and Master Hexer. So he should be doing pretty good at keeping those poisons up for us. No, I don't want Silver Polarium. Let's go ahead and get into another run here on Ultra Nightmare. So we'll give this a start. Make sure to take it off of auto. So we need to come in, get that going. Let's go decrease attack. We actually landed it that time. I do have his accuracy low, like I mentioned, so I'm not expecting to land it too often, but if we can get it off before a hit, may as well. We have the decreased attack going, so we may as well just go A3 here. And then we will get our Bastion of Faith going with our Martyr here. Oh shoot, I forgot to throw in a Cult Brawler, no! Oh, I was a fool. Alright, let me just go ahead and run this through, and then I will buy a key and we will do it properly. Alright, so it turns out Frozen Banshee with no gear is not the best poisoner. Let's go ahead and do that again with a Cult Brawler in there though. So Ultra Nightmare, let's come in, we will buy a key just for the video, and we will say you come out. We are going to bring, where is he? You in. Now he is not quite as tanky as Frozen Banshee was, so we will see if he can survive as long, but it will be good to see if... Oh, another issue that I'm curious if we're going to have is him taking extra turns. I know he's typically used in counterattack teams though, so I assume that won't be an issue. But let's go ahead and get into it here. So got to make sure to take it off auto, get the setup going. So we are going to just counterattack, get our decrease attack going here, and then he goes on us. And we are off to the races. So we get our first poison up there from a Cult Brawler, looking pretty good. Unfortunately, the heal reduction does land. We've got 3 turns on that, so we're going A3 here. Go ahead and get another poison going there. Get our Bastion of Faith up. Looking good. A1. And A1. Cool, so now after this turn, we just need to come through and make sure to get our, whatchamacallit going. Our block debuffs. I'm not sure, should I have used A2 with a Cult Brawler? Is that going to mess stuff up here? And he has too many poisons on him? Because is it 3 that he takes an extra turn? Not really sure. But anyways, let's go ahead and do A1. Let's see. Oh, he only has 2, so that's fine. 2 or more debuffs cannot be revived. Okay, so it's fine to just come in here with this right now. I'm just using it to make sure that he doesn't take an extra turn and mess up the rotation. We will just go ahead and do an A1 here for no particular reason. A1 from Valk. And then we will get our block debuffs going. And that should do it. So blocking the stun, alright, that should run fine. We do block the debuffs on a Cult Brawler as well for one turn, so he's not going to be poisoning himself, which means he shouldn't be building up the poisons on himself as quickly and taking extra turns. Hopefully, I'm not sure exactly how it all works out, but we will see if he can do more than Frozen Banshee. He is, like I said, not quite as tanky, so we'll see if he lasts as long, but I'm going to go ahead and cut here and come back when we are close to the end. Alright, so our Grizzled Yarol just went down, and we are actually looking at less damage, potentially, than what we were doing before. I think we still got a little while left in the run, because we are going down to the slams. But we'll see what the total ends up being. I'm guessing it's going to be right around that 21 million mark again. But let's see, we're definitely going to go over 20 million here. A Cult Brawler also is not fully booked, if I remember, so he might do a little bit better job with the poisons if I got that on him, but overall he's not looking too bad. Valkyrie goes down now, so yeah, that's definitely going to be the end. Without her shields, we're not going to be able to survive these big hits. And here we go, paid my last one standing, and final hit, about 21 million. Alright, so, I mean, 21 million on Ultra Nightmare, pretty good here, and we don't have the best gear in the world. So there is a lot that I can do to up that as we go along. Cult Brawler, what do your books look like? Yeah, so he could get another 10% chance on his poison here. Although I only have 2 books, so no use going for that right now. No books on the passive are needed, if I recall. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I think that was a success. It did cost 70 million silver to go through there and upgrade all of that kind of stuff, so definitely a big investment, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I will be happy to continue to update you guys in the future as the team gets better. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below or join the Discord if you have anything you'd like to talk about. Always happy to give you guys advice. Also, on Discord, you can hit me up if you're interested in me doing an account rework for you that's going to be kind of like this, where I come in and just look at your champs, help you move forward in clan boss, dungeons, arena, whatever you want to do. The only requirements are that you have at least 10 million silver for me to work with, and a list of objectives for us to go through. So, I've been Cronus Falls, and thanks for watching, guys.